Hello everyone, and welcome back to our Let's Play of Phoenix Wright is Attorney Trials and Tribulations. My name is FlightlessBird, this is your Swordbase Gaming channel, and today we are going to try to see if we can get to the bottom of this case. We think we know what happened, right? It's just how exactly is the question. Well, anyway, we're starting with Armstronged today. I hope you're all having a wonderful, fantastic day today. Let's get down to it right away, shall we? When it all happened, there were just two customers in my restaurant. That's right. So today I wanted to I want to click back through this to try to make sure that nothing is new. We need some hard evidence before we can bring them up. Okay. There were just two customers. Experimenting with some Art Deco. And this was the giant mirror. Let's see. Here's the decorature. Okay, so that's still the same. Number 3, having a large mirror between the tables. I do love this line. 1 meter is about 1 yard. Holy glass in a frame, that's huge. Exactly. I mean, it must be absolutely enormous. How in the world did he have something in here, and yet we didn't know about it? Should I ask him more about the mirror? Press harder. Someone would have noticed it. Nothing about a mirror, Mr. Kudo and Maggie Bird's testimonies. Objection. And here he criticizes us because there was a mirror that was delivered the day before. It doesn't prove that was in the restaurant on the day of the crime. Yeah. That is what the old man was looking at. To discern a reflection of real object. But we know that normally doesn't really apply to Victor Kudo. And here he makes fun of all our hairs. And this would not be anything new because we would have seen this before. So let's try to look at this mirror question first, because I feel like there is something here. And then we have the two persons. I don't see anyone though. I don't see anyone though that testify that anything about the two persons. What about the mirror? Alright, we could try the coffee cup. I believe we tried the crime photo before and that didn't yield results. We could look at Tribulations' floor plan. Because that's what I want to know. If Kudo was sitting in the bottom right and there was a huge mirror, wouldn't he not have seen anything at all? Because he would have just saw himself, right? No, that's not it. I just don't understand how no one could see a gigantic mirror between the tables. I mean, come on. That to me seems absolutely ridiculous. It's not elk. This one's got me stumped, doesn't it? It might. It just might. Coffee cup? No. What is the contradiction here? Large mirror. Large mirror. I think I tried everything that could associate the large mirror. Has large debt. Alright, it's not Victor Kudo. Could it be his apology? No, I was thinking that maybe, no, that would just be confirming it. Because he said he thought the vase broke at the other table, but if it broke at his own table, that would confirm it. So there were just 2 customers in my restaurant. There's gotta be something here that says there's more than 2 customers. But what could it be? No, what's not that? I'm legit stuck here. I'm not joking. I don't understand what it is we are supposed to do. It would have seen everything in reverse. There we go. The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we? Because if that's true, shouldn't one of those things not be on the same side? Well, the bonus ran the earpiece on the same side as the green lines on his set of specs. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear without a doubt. So to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, if Mr. Kudo saw that in a reflection in a mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side. Exactamente. You see, Monsieur, now that you think about it, it's not so hard, no? Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, why is it that HMD is now on the wrong side of his head? Yeah. Alright, well, I don't know if I actually got that from the answer, but I did think that it had to do something with the earpiece. So the only thing I could do is select Glenn out. The only thing is, I didn't really connect the dots here. But we got through it without looking it up. So, you know, that's a victory for your Flightless Bird. I almost broke down. I think, yeah, we would have given it another like 8 minutes. Normally that's tradition, so we got at about the halfway mark there before I would have considered giving up. Order, Mr. Wright is correct. If the witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in a mirror, well then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye. Objection! How bitter. Try it. You should have a taste of this bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time. Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different? You don't understand the way the witness thinks. Well, how it thinks. You remember this, I presume. I broke the vase? Sorry, apology left. I mean, Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony? Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Elk? Clearly it's the victim's eyepiece. And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elk's HMD made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh, yes, they were both on his left ear. Did you hear his left ear? Well, try it. Irk. That's the worst, but best impression of Kudo ever. Wow, I really thought he was old CD for a minute there. Kudo's good. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that he was impersonating him, or else I would have, you know, tried to do something. Tried at least. Oh, enough. I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony. Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of a contradiction finds just a rash. A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court, we're all ears. I can explain. Please, if you look at the plans of the restaurant. The mirror. There was no mirror. I am fully convinced about that. Hello, is everyone sitting comfortably? The mirror was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. There is only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim. That was the seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting. I thought he was sitting on the bottom right. Was I wrong about that? I was probably wrong about that. After that terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it would not get in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. There's a lie. The lie is, he touched the medicine. He moved the medicine. That's what was found in the kitchen. I see no problems with the explanation we just heard. From the table next to the victim, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror. What a naughty little coquette I am, confusing all the men like this. Don't worry about it. We can keep up, except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there again. Hey! Arg, I hate that guy. Well, you said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that? Volunteers, of course. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you please. Alright, I think I know what to do here, but I'm gonna do my usual press it as much as possible. The mirror, it was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. So, run this by me again. The mirror was here, correct? We? Really? Because I know if I were you, I'm gonna put a mirror there. It would be in the way. Objection! Look who's talking, trite. Huh? You're obstructing my view, among other things. But, this is my seat in the courtroom. And yeah, Phoenix has a really good point about this. Tribulations' charm is that it gives you the impression that you're the only customer. Temporarily place the mirror in that spot would hardly be in the way. Unlike you, trite. I tell you, Monsieur, the mirror was there in the middle of the restaurant. There is only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim. And what would that be? Oh la la, look how you lean towards me. I always attack the younger boy, so maybe I should keep you in the suspense a little longer. Mr. Armstrong, tell the court what you do at once. I attack the older ones too, you know, and some, oh, shall I tease you too? I'm already seeing a very hot someone, so I'm afraid he'll be waiting for a long time. Oh, really, Godo? I bet she has mocha cream skin and cappuccino perfume. Bien, I will tell you, there was only one seat from which you could have seen. That was the seat at the table next to the victims. That was where an old man was sitting. So why can you only see the victim from that particular seat? My monsieur, it is obvious, no. If you look at the plans, you will understand. The victim would have been reflected in the mirror like so. Well, why couldn't she have been sitting in the bottom right corner? Because if you're sitting in the bottom right corner, you could have seen the victim, but you wouldn't have seen La Tigre across, which would make it look like there was only two people in the restaurant. The victim would have been reflected in the mirror like so. If you were sitting at the table next to him, you would see everything, no? So that's the old city we're sitting on that day. When the poisoning happened. The old man was sitting at the table next to the victim? Why does that seem kind of odd? Because I could have swore he said he was sitting on the bottom right. After the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. Did you move the mirror while Mr. Kudo was off calling the police? Oui, exactamente. I carried it out to the restaurant scene. You moved a huge mirror like that all by yourself? What can I say? I know how to pick the things up on some... Oh, the dots. Haha. Kodo actually laughed at something. Sort of. Well, given the witness's physique, I suppose it is possible. Did you move anything else in the crime scene, Mr. Armstrong? I look like the obliging type, no. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. Are you sure about that? I touched nothing except the mirror. All the dots. Mr. Wright, is there something the witnesses said that doesn't match the crime scene? Yeah, there is. I just can't put my finger on what exactly. Huh? Suffering from a case of heartburn, Wright? Oh, I have just anything for that. An oil with golden mirror and Frankenstein's. Add a few drops to your coffee and voila. Enjoy. Focus, Phoenix. Breathe. I need to ignore those two and just find some evidence. It is pretty strange though, isn't it? I mean, nobody mentioned anything about a really large mirror. You think someone would have, but Maggie didn't, and neither did Old CD. Then the only logical explanation is that there was no mirror inside Tribulations that day. Now I just gotta prove it somehow. Alright, so there's two things that I could attack. I could attack the mirror, or I could attack this. And I kind of want to attack this first. Because this is the thing that jumped out at me. No? What about the empty bag? Instead of the actual medicine. The empty bag. Alright, well that's not gonna work. Interesting. So I guess we have to attack some other part of this evidence. There's only one seat. No, there's two seats, right? Huh, well, let's see. That's where the old man was sitting. Let's try this one. No? Huh. Interesting. Alright, well, let's go. Well, let's go back through this really fast again to see if we find a secondary thing that we were missing before I go on some tangents trying to figure out. You know, I wonder if you just do this scene over and over and over again. Technically, Godo would have had more than 70 cups of coffee, right? So doesn't that violate game lore? Would have been reflected in a mirror like this. You can see someone from the bottom right, though. I mean, you can clearly see from the bottom right the victim. So it's not the only seat. The old man was sitting at the table next to the victim? Why does that seem kind of odd? Is it the vase? Like, do we have something that says where the vase was? Alright, so that's everything. Broken vase. I don't have the broken vase anywhere. How do I... Like, I mean... Ah, there! Right there. Here. You can clearly see the vase is not broken at his table. Haha! Yes! Sort of honorable today. Okay, not fully, but sort of. This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we have heard, Your Honor. At least understand why this was true. With the cream, Voodoo. Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? Should not exist. Huh? Sounds like you're describing yourself, Trite. Wow, that's cold. Well, now then, if the defense would please clarify a statement. What is something that shouldn't exist in this photo? It's obvious. It's the flower pot. But I need to see what happens if you say something else first. So I'm gonna say Glen Elk, even though I know it's wrong, just to see the dialogue. It's worth the damage. This is what should not be the picture. I'm sorry, I'm afraid you've lost me. I suppose it's up to me to clarify the defense's claim. There's something that shouldn't exist is clearly... Wait, I changed my mind, Your Honor. The last thing I need right now is a scalding hot coffee shower. Very well, gather your thoughts, Mr. Wright. In the meantime, the witness will repeat his testimony for the court. I would be delighted. Alright, so, oh, that's interesting. And actually, it actually comes back to this. So we need to, well, you know, if that's true, then what I can do is I could just load the game so we don't have any hit point loss. Darn it, I messed that one up. But yeah, it's clearly the vase. That's what I think. So we present the photo. And then we show the vase. I like how they make you do this, though. How they go back to the testimony to make you think that maybe you were wrong. That's really deceptive. But we know what's wrong. It's a vase. I think it's pretty obvious that this is what should not be the picture. The vase? What possible connection does it have with this witness's testimony? Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should have been no vase on this table. Because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. It's not it. I need to say... Oh, right here. I broke the vase at my seat, I'm sorry. Oh, a triple piece of evidence, 1 by 1 by 1. That was cool. There is one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there is an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all. Objection! Man, that vase is just barely in the picture. Great job, whoever took that picture. Don't be an idiot, Trite. That's impossible. That seat's the only one Kudo could have seen this victim's reflection from. Exactly. All the exclamation dots. There is only one conclusion that we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Tribulations that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. Amodio! Don't try to confuse the court, Trite. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene. No, it's impossible because Armstrong just testified that he didn't take anything else from the scene. Unfortunately, Mr. Godo, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary in his own words. Exactly. I did not touch anything else except the mirror. Precisely. All the dots. Arrgh. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. Well, in light of this revelation, we should return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in the ear which she couldn't hear? You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Trite, then this problem is all yours. Alright, well, let me say first, because we did just go through a lot. How do you explain what the old man saw? If I can answer this, then it'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it. Are you going to be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick? There's more than just this one contradiction, Maya. What do you mean? Remember what Maggie told us. There was another man at the victim's table, and there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up.
Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer.
Alright, give me 1 second. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. Mr. Kudo made a mistake. The ear doctor made a mistake. The victim was a phony. Victim was a phony? I mean, it's just that he made a mistake, right? I don't know which one is which. Can't be the victim was a phony. It's gotta be Mr. Kudo just made a mistake, right? Let's choose the other two first. I believe we're looking at this the wrong way. It was actually the doctor's mistake.
What?
Yes, the doctor got the wrong ear.
Objection!
Well, I believe we saw an autopsy report yesterday. One that stated the victim's left eardrum was ruptured and had medicine in it.
I'm beginning to wonder if it's not your eardrum that's ruptured, Mr. Wright.
There's no time to be playing with people's perceptions, Nick. Alright, there's one down. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was the one who made a mistake.
I'll give you one more chance, Mr. Wright. Think carefully before you answer this time.
Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions, the victim was a phony. It's gotta be... I don't know which one it is. I think it's this one. So I'm gonna say this one, because this one sounds preposterous. I don't understand how the victim was a phony. This case is riddled with contradictions. Yet there is one very simple answer that clears them all up.
And what is it?
The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events. Alright, well that seems like something that's leading me on a different trail. So let's do Mr. Kudo made a mistake first. Clearly, Mr. Kudo made a mistake. Mr. Trite, you're the one who brought up all these contradictions. And if you're trying to tell us the old man just made a mistake, we can wrap up this case right now with a guilty verdict.
How about it, Mr. Wright? Should I just declare your client guilty?
Is that the best you can come up with, Nick? I'm sorry, Your Honor. Wait, I don't understand. How is the victim a phony? Like, I know he was a scammer, not a scammer, but a hacker. Well, I guess you could call him a scammer if he was a hacker, right? But I know he was a hacker. I know he had a lot of debt, but does that mean he was a phony? Like, the way that's worded. This case is riddled with contradictions, yet there's one very simple answer that clears them all up.
And what is that?
The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events. How are they two completely different events? What? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Elk at all. It was an imposter. A phony pretending to be Mr. Elk. What? Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. Huh? How are we gonna prove that? Oh, it seems I caught Godo off guard though.
Order in the court. Settle down or clear the courtroom.
Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out of here, huh?
What did you say?
Trite, are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yes. Someone pretended to be Glenn Elk, acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo.
Objection.
Get real, Trite. Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was, well, the serving girl at the bottom is Cappuccino, but she put something in it. Well, that's the serving girl right there in the defense chair. I remember her well.
It's so hard to believe, but...
There was one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee.
Objection.
Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but it's also true that the chef was there. He would have noticed what was happening.
Well, that's right, real witness. Your restaurant really was a scene of such theatrics. You would have known about it, correct?
Oh la la, is most difficult for me. Not if you were in on it. No, it's quite simple. All you had to do is testify. You are under oath after all. Was there, in fact, a phony at Tribulations that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened.
The defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain in detail the events in the restaurant that day.
Oi, in the restaurant. Well, the victim, Monsieur came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There were no other customers. When he got word they were monetarily, Mr. Monel became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident that occurred. No, there was no time for Phony to do the acting. Yeah, there was. 5 minutes. That's the time that Kudo left, right?
Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all.
Je vous demande pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly.
What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I will decide how to punish you later.
Oh, away.
For now, we will hear your cross-examination. Mr. Wright, if you will, please.
Took that perjury charge a bit too well. But I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination. In the restaurant. La victim, Monsieur L came to my restaurant alone. Was he alone at his table as well? I saw him from the kitchen. Yet the defendant, Miss Bird, remembers it differently. She swears there was another man at the victim's table. Unfortunately for you, Trite. Yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. All the exclamated dots. You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite. What kind of coffee has he been drinking? It's that coffee, it's love. It's love that's bittersweet. Hearing Maya say that makes her seem wise all of a sudden. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct? Oui, it comes often for my special coffee. I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience. Not in a good way, I'm sure. Oh, you make me so happy, monsieur. You're most welcome anytime. I said it was worth one sip. Add nothing more. So, old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. How many minutes after? So you're saying that not much time elapsed between the victim and Mr. Kudo arrived? Oui, that is correct. But that still leaves the possibility that something happened in that gap of time. And by your recollection, how much time would you say elapsed? Well, let me see, approximately 2 minutes, I would say. To 2 minutes, that's all? Did you say 5 minutes?
Seems unlikely that anything untoward could have happened in such a short time.
Rats, I knew I shouldn't have pursued this line of questioning. Let me go back to that. And this time we want to click the other option. What time was it? Out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived? Oh no, I cannot remember, monsieur.
I believe we were told by a witness yesterday.
Well, the crime was reported at about 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir.
Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness?
Well, that incident happened about 20 minutes after it arrived. So the victim must have arrived between 2 o'clock p.m. and 2:10 p.m., no? Just after 2, huh? Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You are wonderful.
I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I?
Actually, that's what you're very good at.
The time of day will be added to the witness's testimony.
Oui, monsieur judge. Everything I do it for you.
Merci bien. Well, that's French, isn't it?
I'm glad at least one person is in a good mood. He's even humming a song to himself. I'm afraid by that. I remember the old man arrived not long after him, just after 2 p.m. Are you absolutely sure about the time? When I think very odd, I'm sure it was just after 2. It is the time I stopped serving the lunch menu.
Quite right, I always break for lunch when the restaurants are serving the specials. I've been known to wind up a case early just to make it on time. Haha.
I guess you should never get between a hungry judge's lunch.
Oh, would you look at that? It's almost lunchtime already.
Witness, get on with your testimony, please. There were no other customers. So your only customers were Mr. Kudo and the victim? How many times do you need to ask the same thing, Trite? You never catch me drinking the same blend twice. Huh? You're trying to establish the presence of a phony victim in a restaurant, but you're wasting your time. You can't grind birdseed to make coffee if you catch my drift. But there's a hole in this testimony somewhere, I'm sure of it. When a word got won the lottery, Mon Elk became very excited. Did you see him? No, I was in the kitchen, but I heard him. I remember him shouting, "Yes, $500,000 buckaroos!" Presumably the defendant heard that too, then, correct? Oh, Muggy! She looked like a poor little frightened dove. And what about Mr. Kudo? The old man choked on some birdseed that got stuck in his throat.
Seems we now have yet another incident on our hands.
It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. And what were you doing at that point? Without any customers, you must have had time to kill. I am a multi-talented woman, monsieur. Sorry, what do you mean? There is a renowned chef, Jean Armstrong, and a tragic poet, Clarice Armstrong.
Clarice.
I was writing a poem, an angry tale of a chef and $500,000 of debt. Cooking for a man who won $500,000 on the lottery. It is called Pourquoi? It means why. Perhaps I could recite it for the court. Please don't. I love how the music just stops. No, there was no time for a phony to do the acting. You mean you contacted the police as soon as the incident occurred? I asked the old man to call from a payphone. By your own argument, Trite. The purpose of this phony victim's performance was so that the old man would see it. In other words, once the incident occurred, the opportunity would completely disappear.
Indeed.
Bien, it seems the shadow of doubt has been lifted. No, c'est pas. All the dots. I guess Mr. Armstrong's connected to this case, huh? Absolutely. Someone was impersonating Mr. Elgin. I refuse to believe it was oblivious. He was there the whole time, after all. But if you're right, wouldn't Maggie have noticed too? She felt unconscious when the incident occurred, remember? Ah, you mean that's when the phony staged his act? We'll know for sure once I find a hole in his testimony. Alright, so there's a lot of things we could probably attack. I think this is a thing to attack. But wait a second. This time is at 1:30. If that happened at 1:30, the old man would have had to have been there at 1:30, not 2 o'clock, or there's no way he would have heard. Ha! Yes! Yes! Oh, I love it when it all comes together. I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong. Oh, what do you mean? At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week, they announced the winning numbers of the $500,000 lottery ticket. That must be the show, Monsieur Elg was listening to.
I can't see any problem with this testimony, Mr. Wright.
I wonder. Oh, the questionable thoughts. You say the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 p.m., correct? I am sure of it. I remember perfectly now. I know it was that time because I had just finished serving the lunch menu. Get to the point, Trite, if you have one. That show was broadcast live at 1:30 p.m. and it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life.
It's on the air at 1:30?
Now, supposedly, the victim made some noise when it was announced that he won. And yet, I don't believe this cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. Because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time. No! This victim, we've been told about, has done nothing but the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum. Catching a show that was already over. There's only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. This victim was an imposter acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder. Man, this case is getting crazy! Yes, there were 2 Glen Elgs in Tribulations that day. The real Glen Elg, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer. And the phony Glen Elg acting out the events for Mr. Kudo to witness. But you know what the problem with this is? If you call a phony Glen Elg, it's the same thing. He's got the same name forward and backwards.
It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy?
Objection!
Quite a performance trait. You were almost on a roll. All the exclamated dots. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song. What is this? Music Theory 101? Let's recap. According to imaginative theory, it is now just after 2 p.m. The phony elk is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain then where the real Glen Elk is? I don't believe I had to spell this out for the court, however. I want to know that too, because I was wondering that myself. At that time, the real Glen Elk was already dead.
Well, that's certainly the obvious conclusion.
Objection!
Thank you, Trite. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say. What? Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to? The missing corpse? According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. If that customer was the phony Glen Elk, then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim? No! That's a good question. I don't know.
The prosecution is a valid point, Mr. Wright. Your theory is to stand up in examination by the court. You must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question.
I don't know.
Where did the killer hide the body?
Yes, Your Honor. No conjecture, Trite. Let's have some hard facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. Alright, I'm gonna... Yeah, I know I like Tribal essays. That's just so if I get it wrong, it's easier to get to the spot. Evidence? What's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden? I thought I had him with that contradiction. But he's turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead. It's very good.
Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence.
Alright, well...
First, where was the body of the real Mr. Ed concealed?
I had to be inside Tribulations, right? Yeah, I had to be inside Tribulations. Maybe the kitchen? But I'm gonna stay outside first because we don't have a health bar here. Clearly, there's no place to hide a body inside Tribulations. Therefore, the killer must have hauled the body outside.
I see.
Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up? What is the evidence that proves the body was taken out of the restaurant? The attorney's badge. Too bad. I don't think you'll ever grasp the real heart of rock and roll. What are you talking about?
He means that your evidence is irrelevant, Mr. Wright.
I think I know what to do here. Come on, Nick, you gotta think it through. Feel the beat and then hit him with some heavy metal. Okay, I need to calm down and get my facts straight. What should I do now? I think I know what to say here. And it goes back to what I said at the beginning of the, this episode. It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Tribulations.
Interesting. But where could the body have been hid inside the restaurant? Perhaps you care to show the court on these plans, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. The exact location of the body was concealed was the kitchen. And I can prove it. The body was sitting here.
I see.
Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up? Yes, I can back it up. With this. The fact that the small bottle was found in the kitchen. Because it fell out of his pocket. Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? Huzzah! I'm on a roll now. No, I've never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. Say I its quality only for me.
Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright?
Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Tribulations. Quoi? But I only ever use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils. But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication.
What kind of medication?
I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elk visited in... I can never say that word. Otolaryngological clinic and was given medication that day. You can't be serious. The defense had the contents of the bottles analyzed, and I had the lab results here. The contents of the bottle matched the prescription that was given to Mr. Elk. When Elk's murderer hid the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Mon Dieu! Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hit the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back. No!
Order. This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glenn Elk?
Never! I could never do such a horrible thing! No. What? No.
Mr. Gordo, can you please stop that? You sound like one of those soccer announcers announcing a goal.
Oh, no, okay. The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules. Hey, we found another rule. Do you have the slightest idea of how many cups of coffee you just had by now? Then I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take them down with my empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear, my H-deficient friend? Chef, Monty Python, please, you must hear me out. It is a trap. Listen to me, por favor.
Yo hablo español, Mr. Armstrong. And por favor is Spanish.
Yeah, I know that too. Why did he just suddenly switch to Spanish from French? Is he all a phony? I'm only gonna ask you once, did you do it? Or is that also French? No, absolutely none. Let's hear it. You got one shot, right, Gramps?
Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Godo's coffee mug awaits you. As does my gavel.
Oh, wait, it is clear. What do they always say? What do they always say in movies? I've got a bad feeling about this.
Very well, begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong.
The confession. It is true, I hid the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it, I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him, I swear it, you must believe me. I actually do believe you.
You were forced by who?
I cannot say or I will be erased. Let's try a different question then. When Mr. Elk died, was he really the only person at his table? Oh, the dots, there was. There was another man.
I knew it.
Maggie was telling the truth.
You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright.
There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer. The confession. It is true, I had a body in the kitchen. Did you carry the body by yourself? Oui, I carried him, and I carried Maggie too. Maggie too? When she saw the victim collapse, she fainted. Oh really? I thought she was drugged. I could not leave her there.
But why did you hide the bodies?
A man forced me to do it, I had no choice. What man? Who was he? No, I cannot say. I fear for my life. He's really scared. You just have to put the words in his mouth, Nick. Yeah, you're right. If he won't tell me, I'll tell him.
But why would you go along with this man?
I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. And what reason would that be, Mr. Armstrong? You know, monsieur. Yes? Surely you cannot expect a young maiden to talk about such an embarrassment. A maiden? You're a bit old to get away with that. And a bit too male. I can't finish the cross-examination without establishing his reason. So I just have to prove it with evidence. But I did not kill him, I swear it, you must believe me. So, you are claiming that all you did was hide the bodies, is that correct? Oui, that is correct.
If we are to believe you, Mr. Armstrong, you must tell the court everything. You must make clear the identity of the man who ordered you to do this.
Oh, the dots. He's already confessed as much. You might as well stop dancing around the real issue. Yeah, but he really doesn't want to tell us who the killer is. Let's suck it to him, Nick. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Question is, do we confront him with like Tigre, or do we confront him with why he owes money? I don't know, I'm gonna take a shot at La Tigre. Good job, good job. Let's end this dance of Ring Around the Rosie, Mr. Armstrong. This is the man that you've been referring to. Oh!
Who is it? I feel I've seen him somewhere before.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a month ago in this very courtroom, Your Honor? This man is Furio Tigre. He's the manager of a loan office called Tender Lender. Oh, the dots! There's no point trying to hide the truth anymore, Mr. Armstrong. I know you couldn't go against Mr. Tigre. At least not while you had this on you, and that's... this. A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything. This man told you. Oh, the dots! Wait, it is as you say. Mr. Armstrong. Look, Tigre. He told me I was going to use my restaurant for business rendezvous. On the day in question, I was meeting a victim to demand that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what they told me to do. I had no choice. I carried the body and the inconscient Maggie out of the dining area and into the kitchen, and after that, I tried to just forget what I had seen. I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre.
I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison in the lottery ticket that I found in the defendant's apron pocket. Was that you doing as well?
No, and I knew nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggie who had done it. I was not. It is despicable.
Mr. Godo.
All the dots.
You will summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow.
$30
What?
The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. Man, he's good. I need a half an hour to get the guy on the stand. Not a minute more. How the? Don't sit back and relax yet, Trite. No one knows that the chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way.
Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Godo. We will resume once Mr. Tigre is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess.
Alright, my friends. Save our progress at this point. This is the intermission, so this is the best time to take a break. Thank you for everything. I love you all so very much. And until next time, I don't think it's gonna be last time though. I think we'll probably have at least 2 more episodes. I may film next one like sort of a marathon where I do like everything until the end of the case. And then I split that up in editing to like even it out. And then we start like episode 4, 3 episodes from now. Let me know, how much more would you think that I have? Now that's of course if I get everything right on the first try, isn't it? Because I really feel like we're at least 2 more episodes away. If not 3. So maybe I'll just do my normal episode next time, just go about an hour and then we'll figure it out from there. But either way, I love you all so very much. Thank you for everything. And until next time, so long and take care. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment on what you saw and what you would like to see next. I always love to hear your thoughts. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more. Also, please do not forget, you matter. You are brilliant and you are loved. And you should always remember to be true to yourself. Don't let the world tell you any different. Much love to you from your friendly feathered flightless bird. Till next time.